Our brain operates 5% is conscious, 95% is unconscious. What people don't get about the subconscious is that it runs everything. The subconscious is the area of your mind, that depth, where it holds all of your conditioning, your values. You say you want that job or to start that company, but subconsciously in your beliefs, you don't believe that you're worth it. It's not about the goal itself, it's about the ecosystem you build around the goal.
Everyone is doing affirmation. Everyone is doing journaling.
The reasons why affirmations don't work because most people treat it as the first step. If I had to say what is the number one thing that people need to double down on, it is your inner intelligence and your inner voice.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Wellsome. In today's episode, I have the pleasure to have with me Abner.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course, welcome to Wellsome.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I feel like our podcast already started before I walked into
guys,
here.
we've been chit-chatting all over, so finally we can say we start. And I'm so happy actually to have her here because today we're talking about a very interesting topic and something that everyone can relate on because we're talking about subconscious. Abner is a subconscious and communication coach.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk about the reason why subconscious is so important. How can you actually rewire your thoughts and align with your belief and your mindset? And I took the best to talk about it. So I'm so happy because I know that you're going to get a lot of benefit on it.
I'm excited just to chat about it.
I know.
Honestly, because the more you talk about it, even if I am a coach, the more we actually get to deepen our own learning about it, right?
Yeah.
Because we're always students. So
yeah.
Shoot, let's go.
I love it. So first thing first, for people who maybe are not really familiar about subconscious and maybe they're wondering, what is this subconscious thing? Why is it so important?
Right.
Why subconscious is actually running the show? Why is it so important?
Yes, I mean, yeah, the subconscious is running everything. And at this point, for a lot of people that don't truly understand it, it's just a buzzword, right? Subconscious, unconscious, what is it?
Yeah, what is it actually? Let's define it
Let's
first.
actually get to it. So our brain operates 5% is conscious, 95% is unconscious or the subconscious. So if you think about it like an iceberg, it's only the tip on top of the water that's the conscious. It's the full berg, the iceberg, that is actually subconscious.
Wow.
Now, what is the subconscious? The subconscious is the area of your mind, that depth, where it holds all of your conditioning, your values, your belief systems. It's basically the ecosystem that's running the show when it comes to your mind and your body. So that's why when someone decides that they want to change their behavior or change their mindset at a surface level, at a conscious level, and then they start to feel guilty. Oh, why is it not sticking? We were talking about the gym, right?
Yeah.
Let's say if someone decides that they want to suddenly get a gym membership, a nutritionist, and they're like, I'm going to get ready for my summer body.
Yeah.
And that for some reason along the way, they end up missing their gym workouts. They end up feeling bad about themselves and they think, what's the point anyways?
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people blame themselves that this is a discipline problem. But it's not a discipline problem. That could be a part of it. But deeper down in your subconscious, there could be beliefs that you have collected either from your friends, from your parents, from what you've seen in society, where you might believe that you don't deserve that body, that you're not capable of looking that way, that no matter what you do, nothing's gonna work. So when you are in an unresourceful state after a long day at work and you're tired and you're exhausted from work, then you're suddenly gonna start thinking, because of your belief in your subconscious mind, what's the point?
Yeah.
And so that topples over to your behavior and then you repeat the same result.
Wow, that's so crazy how much important it is. And thinking about that, because it's so true that even if sometimes we speak out loud about what we want, but if we really don't embrace it, you know, the typical sentence, I'm going to start on Monday, you know?
Yeah.
So like what people still don't get when it comes to subconscious?
They don't get, I mean, I've touched on this, but what people don't get about the subconscious is that it runs everything.
Yeah.
It runs everything from your memories. It runs your body, your heart rate, your breathing.
Yeah.
It runs also the way that you store your emotions as well.
Yeah.
Let's take, for example, the situation we're in, the elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
What's happening here in the UAE, in the Middle East as
Yeah.
well. And how does that affect us? the first 2 weeks, we were all in shock.
Yeah.
Right? We were all like, what is happening? And this is abnormal. And we were just processing it, right? For a lot of us, we didn't actually take the time to process it.
True.
Under the mask of resilience and pushing through and mind over matter, we told ourselves, okay, let us continue with work. Even if we're working remotely from home, we're going to continue from work. We're going to continue shooting our content, business as usual.
Yeah.
And in that process, what happens is our subconscious mind takes those emotions, those unresolved emotions, puts it in a little black bag, pushes it really deep down in our body. So what happens by week 3 and 4? Week 3 and 4, we start to feel exhausted.
Yeah.
Did it happen to you
Oh
where
my
your
God.
sleep
Oh my God.
you were sleeping more than usual? Did that happen to you, or that you didn't even have good quality sleep?
You know what happened to me the first, I think 1 week and a half too, because I didn't want to accept the situation. I was pushing work and workouts a lot. Working out 2 hours.
Distraction.
No, I just refused to believe. And then I had a crash down.
I mean, it happened to all of us.
Yeah.
Right? It happened to a lot of my clients. It happened to me to a degree as well, because each time is a new situation.
Yeah,
and we
definitely.
keep relearning. So the subconscious basically takes that emotion, puts it in that bag, it's repressing everything. And later on, what happens is the very same subconscious mind, when you are so tired, it will bring it back up to resurface for you to process.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't really escape it, and it runs everything for you to be able to really understand how is it that you want to show up in this world. And when people say that they're out of alignment, it's not about just being mind, body, soul. When we talk about alignment, it's about, is your subconscious mind aligned with your conscious mind?
Yeah.
You say you want something, you say you want that job or to start that company, but subconsciously in your beliefs, you don't believe that you're worth it, or you don't have the resources or came from the background to do it. You say you want the body and you want to look a certain way, but subconsciously you feel like that's not your body to begin with, and it's not because of your genes, you can't get there.
Yeah.
So the alignment is being able to really understand what's in this 95%, so that whatever you do on a conscious level, on a daily basis, you are acting and speaking in alignment with what your beliefs are deep down.
Yeah, that's so interesting, by the way. I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because I'm sure that everyone, deeper or more superficially, like they're struggling with this, because
100%.
of course we don't know much about this. So I'm glad that we're actually like talking about it. And for example, I'm trying to be in someone's shoes and try to think, let's say I want to set some goals right now.
Yeah.
Let's say I want to open my company, or I want to find the love of my life. Okay. So what do I need to take care before setting the goal when it comes to the subconscious?
All right. So this is actually the perfect time to talk about goals, because we just started Q2, right?
Yeah.
And let's look at goals and the way that people think about it. How many people there in your life have written off resolutions?
Oof, a lot.
I've even written off resolutions at some point, like yearly resolutions. And we talk about how resolutions, you set them and they don't stick.
Yeah.
But here's the problem, that it's not about the goal itself. It's about the ecosystem you build around the goal. Because you can say, I want X, I want Y. But if you don't have the backing and the process to create the ecosystem to make that goal a success, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it from a subconscious level. Before you even get to the goal, first, it's about before you even get to the goal, first, it's about acknowledging your patterns. So what are the loops? What are the patterns that you have? And really, instead of distracting yourself, looking at them face on and acknowledging them, seeing them. The second is about releasing your emotions. What are the stored emotions that you have? Usually in my coaching, this is the phases we go through: anger, sadness, hurt, fear, guilt. These are all stored in your subconscious mind and in your body.
Which is also the lower, like in
vibration, emotions, right? We always talk about love being the highest vibration. On the other end, you have these 5 emotions. And so if you are still storing that in your body and in your mind, you are working from a place of scarcity, a place of lack. So how can you go out there and dream and have try to manifest your goals, but deep down you're still holding on to that?
Yeah.
So you release that emotions, and I do that usually through subconscious timeline techniques.
Okay.
The third is rewiring your beliefs. Now, again, people go straight to rewiring the beliefs, but how can you rewire your beliefs if you don't release what you've been holding on to?
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah,
You have to let go
agree.
to make space to bring something in.
Yeah.
So rewiring your beliefs because limiting beliefs are just beliefs that are holding you in a smaller container of yourself.
Yeah.
So if you look at those beliefs and you see how can you rewire them into empowering ones that set you up, then you have created a belief system for you to be able to now plant those goals, plant those seeds.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not just saying beliefs that you write down and you say, but beliefs that you feel in every fiber of your body.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can really do that is not just journaling them down, but going into the subconscious through techniques and being able to really plant them within you.
Yeah. Okay, now I have a question for you, because I think everyone has fallen into, because now there are a lot of trends about it, about like the vision board, about the journaling, and everyone seems to talk about journaling and vision boards, and everything seems to be manifested, which I think so to a certain extent, because I think there are certain things that are so easy to manifest. I mean, I manifest my dream house. Yeah, but if you have the money to do this, then it's maybe easier to manifest it rather than, I mean, I want to manifest, I don't know, something that you already have the power to. Right. It's not really manifesting, it's just going through, like just get what you want.
Right.
So where do you think is like the real manifestation and the real change happens? And where do you think is just fluff? For example, everyone is doing affirmation, everyone is doing journaling, but
don't get me started on affirmations.
Okay. We're gonna touch base this.
Don't get me started on affirmations.
I'm so interested because we're all doing this thing that we see on social media, and of course they're great and it's nice, but do they really work if we're not doing a pre-work before?
Yeah, honestly, you're touching on it on the nose.
Yeah.
So where do I start? Vision board, affirmations. Where do I start?
Whatever.
The whole thing. Okay, let's start with the larger concept of manifestation. Manifestation only works, again, if you have the belief system to support it.
Yeah.
If you say, even with affirmations, right? Like affirmations are just words.
Yeah.
Affirmations will never work. Manifestation will never work. Vision boards will never work if you do not have the belief system behind it. And that's why we say, set yourself up first to be in a space to pull that in, to attract that in, which we talked about, which is recognizing, releasing, rewiring, realigning.
Yeah.
Okay? And now you're remembering, now you're looking and you're envisioning what is your next step as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you are what happens with the trends is, especially with manifesting and vision board, people are always saying, I manifest this.
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm manifesting my dream house. I'm manifesting my dream man. And it's just words.
Yeah.
Like affirmations, they're just words. And words, when are words truly powerful? Words are powerful when it carries three things behind it: intention, belief, and energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It makes so much sense.
When someone is saying something, that's why when you walk into the room and people have been negative and they're speaking negatively and they're speaking from a place of scarcity, you feel sometimes that negative energy.
Yeah.
You feel it. And it's not the words that they're saying, it's the energy. It's the energy they're operating with.
Yeah.
It's the energy they're operating from. Are they operating from a space of lack, or are they operating from a space of abundance, of possibility?
Yeah. Yeah.
So even vision boards, let's talk about vision boards. I did a vision board workshop. So I get it. There were so many vision board workshops. And here's the issue with vision board workshops. A lot of people, when they do that, they go straight into the pictures and they go straight into the outcomes. And with goal setting and with vision boarding and manifesting, yes, you are getting specific about what you want, but it's not that specific outcome.
Yeah.
When you talk about even your dream house, it's not exactly how it looks, but it's more how do you feel in it? What is it giving you? How is it elevating your life?
Yeah.
And most people, the reason that they get disappointed when their manifestations, when their vision boards, when their goals don't work out is because they attach themselves so deeply to this very specific outcome that they have.
Yeah.
Whereas along the journey, they didn't keep their eyes and their ears open to see the random gifts and surprises that came along the way that could have taken them to a version of that.
Yeah.
that represents the essence of their goal.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it is. And that's why I actually asked, because I know that sometimes those practices are nice, but honestly, I don't think this is the point. I think the point is actually going a little bit inner, like doing some inner work.
Look, to keep it simple, affirmations, they only work if you don't treat it like the last step. The reasons affirmations don't work is because most people treat it. Sorry, let me do that again. The reasons why affirmations don't work because most people treat it as the first step.
Okay, got me through it. I'm curious.
So the reasons affirmations don't work is because most people treat it as the first step, and it's not the first step, like we talked about. The first step is going inwards. It's understanding our system. It's understanding what do we need to release? What do we need to rewire? Once we get that system in place, then you can go and look into the mirror, or you can close your eyes and start saying those affirmations, because you're saying it from a place of pure conviction. And you're also saying it from a place of unattachment, detachment from the outcome.
Yeah, which is the key of manifestation at the end. Yeah. For example, let's say that, okay, I just want to sit down and I just want to set some goals, but I'm aware right now, after our conversation, that I have to take a step back and just focus on my patterns and my misbelief. How do you normally do that with your clients? So how can I really, when it comes to pattern, for example, which we all have, so we're not, we all have, how can I really overcome a pattern, or at least realign from my usual behavior in order to get what I really want?
Okay, let me have a moment about that, because I kind of touched on it, but I'm trying to see. Can you ask the question again so that I can?
So we have to take a step back before setting a goal and just not focusing on the surface, which is affirmation and this and that. But if we really want to align on a specific outcome, we have to do some inner work, as you mentioned. So one of the main part of inner work is like working on the pattern, which is the first thing that you mentioned.
Yeah.
How can you work on the pattern? How do you normally work on patterns with your client?
Okay, so there are 5 phases that I take my clients through, which I've mentioned. The 5 phases I take them through is recognize, release, rewire, realign, and remember. Now, we're talking about the first one, recognizing. How do you see your patterns? I always start with an audit, because you can't move forward until you look back and look at the different categories: career, finance, family, and really get them.
So you take it through the overall.
First, I take them through a full life audit, and we really intuitively, qualitatively and quantitatively put some metrics. How would they rate this audit? How would they rate these different categories of their life? And I'm not talking about thinking about the strategic number. I'm talking about first thing that comes up.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we go into a self-perception exercise. How are they valuing themselves in respect to others, in respect to themselves? And that I use meditation techniques and subconscious techniques as well.
Okay.
And a large part of it is also really giving them the tools and understanding of how do you understand the subconscious mind. In a subconscious mind, and what I teach them, we go through CSBR. Okay, so most people, like I said earlier, they try to change their results and their outcome by changing their behavior. Yeah. But that is just the end of the flow. Yeah. Before that, you have state and you have conditioning. So really going through those concepts and helping them understand what is conditioning. How does it look like in a metaphorical world? Because, for example, if they can understand back to back to back that, let's say if your life is on a screen, you're looking at a movie. Yeah. Right? And if you don't like what you're seeing, if you don't like the movie, it's not just about walking out of the movie. That's like you set a goal on something, you don't like what's happening, you walk away from it. No. If you don't like the movie, change the film. Yeah. And the film, if your reality is projected on the screen and the projector is you, it's the light, right? Inside that projector is, those old movie reels? Yeah. That reel is your conditioning. Yeah. That reel has a collection of stories and values and beliefs that you have.
Multiple stories.
Yeah. So instead of walking away and ditching the whole project or just giving up, go back to your reel.
I love that. Yeah.
So sometimes it's as simple as, yes, I do breath work, I do meditation, I do subconscious techniques, but it's also really going over the concepts again and again, not till they get it, but till they get it. Because we can talk about it here, then tomorrow me and you will have a call, oh, like we talked about this, then you're getting it. Then you go and you research it, then you're really...
Yeah.
A lot of us, we're always exposed to so much information overload, but we don't give enough time to let it sit.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between information and integration.
And I think also there's a lot of like comparison within each other. I feel that when it comes to achieving goals, I think we're very much conditioned on like what I see.
Of course.
And compare myself all the time.
And it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
Even the best of us, if we're confident, if we know our path, it always pops up as a little trigger.
Of course. But you know, I think we had this conversation even when we first got in touch, and we were talking about comparison and the fact that, and I remember that you said something beautiful about comparison, about like the fact that everyone has his own time and you just have to embrace it. And then eventually, instead of taking it as, oh, she has something that I don't have, rewire it and say, okay, this is something very beautiful that I would like to experience. Let me work on that.
Yeah.
And that's super powerful because it removes the anxiety and the jealousy, the negative emotion from the outcome that you see. And you just point the arrow to yourself and say, okay, what can I do?
What can I do about it? I mean, comparison, jealousy, competition, we all go through it.
Yeah.
Let's not be mightier than thou, right?
Yeah.
We all go through it, even the most confident people.
Of course, yeah.
Both men and women, but even women to women as well.
Yeah.
Right? As women, we always talk about cheering each other on, like,
Yeah.
you go, girl. But a lot of the times we feel sometimes that
Something is lacking, yeah.
Something is lacking,
Yeah.
right? And what happens is it's very normal. First of all, it's understanding that that's very normal.
Yeah.
And the second is really rewiring it from why is she making me feel this way, or why am I feeling this way about her, to what is this situation showing me about myself, right? Because once we start moving from a place of seeing other people, other women as competition, and start moving to a place of what is the mirror? So taking them from a place of competition to a place of, this is my mirror. What is this showing me?
Yeah.
What is this awakening in me? Because usually when you feel that you're behind, you feel upset, you feel jealous, it's actually showing you that there's something you're seeing in that person that you haven't fully expressed to yourself.
And you have to work on.
And you have to work on. You
Yeah.
get to work on it.
Yeah.
You get to learn about that.
Yeah.
Right? So instead of
I
self-sabotaging yourself and feeling guilty about
Yeah.
it, it's like, oh, what is this showing me about myself?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when we can understand that, then we stop doing things out of societal pressure. We stop looking at other people's journeys and we think we're behind. Or even, let's say I decided to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. And I take everything the same way. I take these beautiful white chairs, the beautiful white walls.
Yeah.
I even wear the same clothes as you and do the hair
Yeah.
the same way. But if I speak in that podcast,
It's gonna be different.
It's so gonna be different
Yeah.
because your essence is different.
Yeah.
Your energy is different. The
Yeah.
way that you think is different.
Totally, yeah. Totally,
Right?
yeah.
And a lot of times we forget that life is a game.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there are so many dark things in the world. The world can get really dark, but life is a game. And if we keep playing the game like other people's styles, by other people's rules,
Yeah.
we'll never be able to enjoy the game our
Yeah.
way. It's like,
I
remember I was
agree.
telling you on the call, life is like this snakes and ladders game
Yeah.
that I used to play when I was
Yeah.
kids. If you know the game.
Yeah.
And so you can aim to finish that game super fast and rush through it because you feel like you have this imaginary clock.
Yeah.
But at some point, by rushing and trying to copy what other people are doing, you might land on a snakehead.
Yeah.
And that's going to take you all the way down and you're starting from zero.
That's the game of life.
That's the
actually.
game of life. Or if you take aligned steps and you take your time, or even if you just take aligned timing, whether that's fast or slow,
Yeah.
and you could land on a ladder.
Yeah.
When you land on that ladder, it can shoot you right up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the difference of playing by other people's rules versus playing like your own player and playing like your own style.
And that's so important. And you know, something that we touch base also is, and which I found it super interesting, and I cannot wait for you to share now with our audience, is the concept of inner intelligence.
Yeah.
Please guide me through it, because I'm sure that is very well connected to the work that you're doing with your clients and the subconscious.
100%. Inner intelligence, if I had to say what is the number one thing that people need to double down on as humans in today's world with AI, with technology, with all of the noise, it is your inner intelligence and your inner voice.
Yeah.
100%. And inner intelligence is basically the concept of understanding your inner world, right?
Yeah.
So we are so, in today's world, we are so focused and obsessed on external resources. We're obsessed with money, with time, with the outside, and
Beauty,
even
look.
everything, upgrading, and we're trying to upgrade every skill. And I'm sure you've heard people say what really sets you apart in the future is if you're going to know how to, is the person that knows how to code AI or that knows AI. And
Oof, yeah.
it's true.
It's
we all
true.
know we got to get on Claude. We're all
Yeah, exactly. We
know that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, what's going to set humans apart is how much they can double down on knowing themselves.
Yeah.
On harnessing those inner resources and those inner skills. So when we say inner intelligence, we're talking about competencies like intuition.
I was about to ask,
We're
actually.
talking about intuition. We're talking about regulation. We're talking about imagination. Because AI can take care of everything, right?
Yeah.
It can be your assistant. It could be your technician. It could be your troubleshooter. But it's not going to take care of the inner competencies, your inner resources, which, unlike external resources, are limitless.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't know if you can tell. I can totally tell. I truly believe, because I studied trend forecasting at my university.
Oh, nice.
And every time there is a trend, there's always an anti-trend of what's happening. For example, if we use technology, okay, technology is a trend, but then you have the anti-trend, which is maybe go back to nature.
Right.
If you are into, I don't know, maybe the 80s in terms of fashion, so everything extra, then there's a trend that is more minimal. So there's always an anti-trend. And as we're talking about AI so much and technology and how to advance and be super into tech, now everyone also is start to talk about nervous system regulation, intuition.
Suddenly, nervous system regulation became like the most talked about topic.
It's everywhere.
Right? It became the most talked about topic.
I swear. So it's so interesting that when there's a trend, there's still something that it's connected to the anti-trend of this. Because we need this balance. We cannot be only, AI or only, Zen and nervous system. We can coexist.
We can coexist. I mean, us humans, we're multi-layered.
Yeah.
We're multi-dimensional,
Yeah.
right? That's what makes us amazing. And so, for example, I myself, I'm someone who's such a nerd about AI. I love optimizing, creating my own little digital team. I love creating my own digital team. And at the same time, I'm someone who loves to walk on grass and be a tree hugger. And I love to understand my own inner world.
Yeah.
And I love to also have fun and party out there. We're just multidimensional people.
Yeah.
So as technology is growing, it's really just important to not forget the human in us.
Yeah.
And not just not forget it, but to double down on it and see how can we harness those inner competencies, those skills to guide us. Because like the situation in today's world, everything is uncertain, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
The uncertainty is at a mass level that me and you know at this point. So now what's happened? We've lost trust in the systems. We've lost trust in the people. We've lost trust in just institutions, right? So what's left? Who can you trust?
Us, yeah.
You can trust yourself.
Yeah.
So yes, you can talk about self-love and pour love into yourself, and that's a subset. But the most important thing is how can you build self-trust?
Yeah.
And that's part of your own inner intelligence.
Yeah.
And that connects to the subconscious, going into your subconscious mind and looking at your patterns, understanding your beliefs, understanding what is the ecosystem and identity you want to build, and putting your trust in that. And that does not mean you don't trust that person, but it means you trust yourself to navigate an uncertain situation and to discern if you should trust that person.
Yeah. Can I ask you actually, because you've been talking about ecosystem when it comes to achieving a specific goal, and to prepare, let's say, for it, to receive it. When you're talking about ecosystem, what do you mean? Do you mean surrounding yourself with certain people that maybe they're aligned with your own goals? Are you talking about your environment? Are you talking about both? That's
a really good question. I love that you asked that. When I talk about ecosystem, I'm talking about the inner and outer environment.
Yeah.
Yes. First, the inner environment, which we've been talking about, which is really being able to reboot your inner operating system to be able to hold these goals. So your beliefs, your conditioning, everything that will be able to bring that to fruition.
Yeah.
Even your rituals as well, right? When we talk about routines and rituals, they're not just something that you check off. They're mini portals that you create to get even deeper into understanding yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes doing your morning rituals and evening rituals, they don't feel amazing because they're meant to regulate your nervous system, but they don't always feel amazing because that's the work.
Yeah.
If you're meditating and it feels difficult, it's difficult for a reason because you haven't been taking the time to sit with yourself. So it's that inner environment, and it's also the outer environment, right? What are you doing? How are you sleeping? What time are you going to sleep? Who are the people you're surrounding yourself with? Because like we said, your belief system is also formed by the people that are around you.
Yeah.
So if other people around you believe a certain thing, like for example, if other people around you believe that everything is going to, destruct, or Dubai is no more, or that, you got to get out of here, then you start believing that, right?
Yeah.
But there's a whole other side of beliefs that actually, no, this is the time to double down on Dubai.
100%.
This is the time to trust yourself, because where there is a down, there is always an up.
100%.
Right? So it's the people you surround yourself with. It's the environment you create, like the environment that you create for success.
Yeah.
It's the rituals that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Opportunities that you take.
So it's a very holistic, I would say, approach. So it's not only physical environment, it's not only people, it's people, the environment,
emotional,
mindset,
energetic environment. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
100%. When we say holistic steps, holistic approach, it's not just about mind, body, soul, which have now become buzzwords. It's about looking at the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Looking at the world that you've built around you and inside of you.
Yeah. For example, I give an example because I think this is very connected to what you said. For example, I'm a person that I have been struggling with sleep so much.
Yeah,
especially
we were just talking about this.
Yeah, especially in Dubai. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's in the air. I've been struggling. I've been struggling since I'm a kid, but I think here it's more amplified, maybe because I have more thoughts. But then I know that if I want to take a step forward and become the version of myself that I'm planning to be, I have to wake up a little bit earlier, at least to, not necessarily because everyone is talking about the 4 a.m. club, but it's not about the trend. It's about, I know that in order for me to get there, I have to wake up earlier and be more disciplined during my morning, etc. But still, my mind think, oh no, I'm not an early bird. I'm saying this to everyone. I'm not an early bird. I'm not an early bird. And then I'm like, am I not really an early bird, or I'm convincing myself that I'm not an early bird?
Yeah, this is such an interesting topic about identity.
Exactly.
Right? Identity.
So how identity play a role when it comes to the subconscious?
Oh, it's big. Your identity is made up of what is in your subconscious.
And we make up our identity, or it's the story that people tell us. For example, if my mom keep on saying, oh my God, like you're such an early bird, or you're so messy.
Yeah.
You're so messy.
Oh, don't get me started on this.
Yeah, exactly. My mom, you're so messy, you're so messy. And then is it part of your identity, or this is something that it depends on what you think?
It's such a good question, and it's honestly, I can't relate to it more, because that's what I went through. That's how I ended up doing subconscious coaching,
which is actually the next question.
I want to know. So let's get into it.
Tell me.
It was about identity. So shall I answer the identity question first, or just
go ahead.
Flow with it?
Go with the flow. Yeah.
Okay. So let me talk about identity, and then I'll work backwards.
Yeah.
So identity is 100% made from your conscious. Let me start again. So your identity for sure is highly influenced by your conditioning, because we talked about it, your values, your belief, your memories, your experiences, right? And when you are growing up, you have so many people that are starting to have a say in your identity. What do your parents say? Your mom, your dad, your siblings, if you have, your friends, society. Let's not forget society rules as well.
Yeah.
Culture, depending on which culture you're born in, right? Indian culture versus Arab culture versus European culture. We have different norms and understandings of what identity is.
100%.
So for the majority of the time, you have been building an identity that has been crafted, yes, a bit by you, but also by people around you and things around you. Until you get to the point, until you get to the I'm done moment, until suddenly you start to hear a whisper and you feel like something is off. I don't feel like myself.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not right.
Yeah.
But then your mind, your conscious mind, the monkey mind says, oh, no, it's okay. That's just, put that voice aside. Until the voice becomes louder again. And you're like, okay, no, there's something here. And again, you push it away. And then again, until it is your I'm done moment. Okay, I cannot ignore this voice, which is your intuition. And it's telling you, hey, there's something here. This is where the subconscious mind comes in. And this is where you go deep down and you relook at everything and you decide, okay, is this 100% true? Is this something I want to hold on to? Or is this something that I just learned about myself or believed about myself because someone else said so at that point?
Yeah.
At that point, at the rewiring point, that is where you get to decide on your identity.
Yeah.
You get to rewire your identity and you get to choose.
Yeah.
You get to choose the person you want to become.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is it's such a powerful statement.
And choosing the person you want to become is not some faraway goal that like I will be that early riser later on. No, it is in the micro decisions you make on an everyday basis.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they place their success on something that is at a specific date, by this date. Success is not a destination that you arrive to. Success is you choosing to embody that person on an everyday basis in the micro moments where you could have chosen to not.
Yeah, so true.
And when
It's
it comes,
so true.
Right? And when it comes to identity, I went through that so how I arrived to now is that I used to work in the advertising world and I loved it. I loved the creativity. I loved the pace. I loved my clients. And at the same time, I was so burnt out. I was debilitated at points on my bed, exhausted, because I was checklist living. I was doing my work, then I was trying to put my meditation in, trying to put my fitness in, and I was just checking it all off.
Yeah.
And along the way, people used to tell me, wow, you do it all. Like, how do you do it? And that used to feed my ego.
So basically you were like overloading yourself with everything, like workout, everything that it's correct.
I was trying to be the superhuman.
Okay.
Right? Because like be the 1%, be that superhuman where you're on top of all of these things, which is possible, but I obviously something was wrong. My foundation was not there.
Yeah.
And when people kept saying and praising me, oh, you do it all. And like, how can you juggle it all? I started to think, oh, wow, like I love this being part of my identity.
Yeah.
So I would do more of it. And I would go from one social event to another, try to finish it all. And what happened? It was all at the cost of not being present, of not being intentional.
Yeah.
Right? Of not actually getting the benefit of anything that I'm doing.
And probably just not disappoint the version of yourself that you put in your mind, but not really in your heart.
100%. 100%. So when I quit my job, because I had a family scare and it shook my world, and I started to ask myself, is this really what I want to be doing now? Life is short. Whenever something happens with family, it's like, okay, like it's now or never.
Check,
It's a huge reality check.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to have a year of my own surrender experiment. I'm going to see what's possible.
Yeah.
The very first thing I did in that whole process is I broke down my identity and I really looked at what do I no longer want to hold on to and how do I want to rebuild.
I love the fact that you broke down into pieces and then you compose your own puzzle.
Broke down, girl. Like, ask my family, ask my partner. I used to be someone who used to go and do CrossFit competitions, show up for dance, do this. There was a
Wow.
couple of months I was just like literally staying at home, and the most I could do is do a little at-home Pilates, do yoga, just walk. Walking was my sport.
Yeah.
Because I was so emotionally and mentally drained from going inwards. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. That's a good thing. That's what happens when you go and you face your shadows because you've suppressed it for so long.
Yeah.
So to rebuild, I broke down and then I rebuilt
I
again.
love that.
And now I feel more aligned because I feel that whatever I'm saying, whatever I'm sharing consciously
Yeah.
is reflecting
What's really in you and what you really want.
subconsciously.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the alignment.
Yeah. Can you share with me a successful story from a client that you have in mind to also give people like an example of what like working on your subconscious can really shift your life? Or can be a personal story if you want to. Like something that you said, wow, this really, really, really work.
Let me think, because I want to see what can I pull from and how can I keep privacy. So I'm thinking like for my clients at least.
Don't worry, we know how to keep secrets.
Okay, so I'll talk about. Let me think about this.
Think about it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I want to be intentional about what I'm saying.
Because for sure, once you've done the work, you're going to see a lot of result in the physical, and because it happened to me as well. Like I'm still working on it because we are all a work in progress. But also the reason why I wanted to invite you on the podcast again, I say it again, is because I truly believe in what you're doing
As I do for you, my girl.
in the subconscious. Like I think people don't still really know about it, or maybe they talk about it but they don't really embrace it. So the fact that you're helping people in this, I think it's very powerful.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
and look, what's the point in this world if you're not working or doing or moving towards something that is making a change, even if
Yeah.
it's a small change, and helping improve other people's lives,
100%, yeah.
right? It doesn't have to be coaching. You don't
Yeah.
have to be coaching to improve other people's life,
Yeah.
but you're bringing 1% that
Yeah.
is going to improve and elevate
Yeah.
their life, right?
Yeah.
I'll try to give 2 examples,
Yeah.
one for my client and one for myself, okay?
Go.
So for myself, I remember when I was quitting my job, anyone who quits their job, it's like, oh my God, stable income. How do you walk away from that?
Yeah.
Right? Especially now, like with everything happening, it's like you don't have that stable income.
Yeah.
And so before I had done the inner work, there were 3 beliefs that I can really pinpoint around money beliefs that really held me back.
Yeah.
Okay. One is believing that money is hard to make.
Which a lot of people
Which
have.
a lot of people think.
Me too, by the way.
Yeah, and it pops up here and there. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean that once you rewire your beliefs that you're perfect and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You're actually just practicing as you go and you notice as it comes up.
Yeah.
So the first belief is money is hard to make. Okay. The second one is that this industry doesn't make money. The wellness industry. Like it doesn't make the type of money that I want to make.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm trying to think of the third belief. I forgot about it.
Yeah. Which is good, maybe.
I had it.
Which is good. It's gone.
But let's just even work on those. Let's just even work on those 2. Money is hard to make. I mean, is it absolutely true?
No.
When did I make that decision? Because any belief that I have, that you have, there's a certain point where we make a decision to believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And where I always say this, and I said this to you before we started, where your energy flows, it grows.
Yeah.
Right? And so after working on that and really understanding and breaking that down and understanding that is not absolutely true, and really putting my love and my passion into my highest excitement, where I feel like even if it's midnight and I'm working on this, I absolutely love what I'm doing and I believe in it. Now, cut to now, I am a subconscious coach, communication coach. I do one-on-ones, workshops, retreats, and these are all different money incomes.
Yeah.
Right? Brand deals And so we've been taught by society that you earn money one way.
Yeah.
That you get a job, the only way that you get more money is linearly, through promotions, right? And there's a specific amount of years or time that you need to wait before you can get that pay grade.
Yeah.
So we're taught to believe that money can only come at a specific time and that it's hard and you have to wait for it. That was the third belief, that it takes time to make money. Okay? But the reality is that's just a belief that we're holding.
Yeah.
So money is not hard to make. If you can truly believe that money is actually easy to make, that if you keep your eyes and ears open and you see the opportunities, and when you see them, you create your own opportunity and open the door, then it starts to flow in.
Yeah.
Just like I started seeing it through these different streams. And it may not be stable or it may not be predictable, but it comes in and it flows in.
So you spot the misbelief and then you change it. And then you saw results.
Yeah, I mean, from a timeline to using timeline and subconscious techniques, after doing the recognizing, the releasing, the rewiring, and then I go into the realigning, right? Realigning is having the rituals and doing the practices that keep your nervous system calm. Because why is everybody talking about nervous system? It's that when you are in that fight or flight response system, you can't manifest. You can't set goals because you're from a state of lack. Back in the day, as hunters and gatherers, someone is not going to set a specific goal or dream when they're trying to survive.
100%.
You have to be in the rest and digest, the parasympathetic state, for you to be able to manifest that.
Yeah.
Right? So money is hard was the first limiting belief. The second one is that all of us who are working in the industry, I'm sure have thought at some point that in the wellness space, you don't make enough money, that you're always scraping by.
Yeah.
Some people believe it, some people don't believe it. But there are time and time examples of people that are doing it, but they're creating the ecosystem to do it.
Yeah.
Is it just that you're doing one-on-ones or you're playing it small or you don't believe that what you're doing, the work you're doing is worth charging for? Mm-hmm. And I get the other side. There are people that are overcharging for it as well, right? They're exploiting it.
Yeah.
But really being able to look at the different avenues. So the more you work on your beliefs, the more you work on your conditioning and your subconscious, the more you start to see doors that were always open, but you never actually noticed them.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, even like for a client, for example, I mean, it's multi-layered when we work on beliefs, but I had a client who is working in medicine. She's working crazy hours. Anyone who works in medicine knows that it's hard because at that point, you're really working with life or death situations, right? It's not like you're working in an organization. And at that point, you really feel the weight of people's lives on you. And there were multiple things going on. She was overworking and she felt scared to ask for days off and to ask for leaves off because she felt that if she asked that they would not be taking her seriously and that they don't believe that she has enough commitment.
Yeah.
Right? She also believed she wanted to apply for her master's, but she was super scared that she was not going to get in because she didn't believe that she had the backing or she would get the recommendation to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And she was even scared to go out of her comfort zone herself.
Yeah.
And she even applied once to work at a dermatology clinic and she got rejected once and she never went back to apply because she felt like this is not for me. Imagine how many times we get scared to say something because we're trying to predict what someone else is saying, even though we have no idea what they're going to say.
Yeah.
Right? And we are trying to go for our dreams, but we get shut down once and then we're like, that's it.
Yeah.
So after working on those and understanding that no, asking for time off and asking for that space and rewiring it as it's not her asking for that time because it's they're doing a favor for her. She's asking for this. This is where boundaries come into play. She's asking for this because she knows by asking for that time off and taking that leave, she is pouring into her health so she can better take care of her patients.
Yeah.
And if she does not do that, she's putting her patients at a risk.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
For her master's, it's about really understanding about the power of just going for it and trying.
Yeah.
Of not stopping yourself before you see if it's successful or if it's a failure, but actually going for it, giving it your best, pouring your heart into it, and letting the outcome be as it is. And even if you don't get in, navigating and moving from that. Because what happens when you hit a wall, it's not about stopping there, but it's about keeping yourself in a resourceful state to be able to navigate that uncertainty.
Yeah.
And the third thing is about the dermatology clinic, right? What is one rejection?
Yeah.
How many times have you been rejected or something hasn't been working out?
Yeah, a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
And that relates to our definition of success. It relates to our definition of what does success look like? Does success look like you get that specific thing, or is it about actually putting yourself out there? Is it about giving it your best? And when that doesn't work out, how are you pivoting? And what is the step-by-step process you're putting it in? So it's not, we don't just work on a subconscious level, but I'm very much a structured person. I love to plan. I love to set steps. So after we do that, putting together a 30, a 60, and 90-day plan so you can actually follow through with it. You're not just feeling the change inside, but you're executing it on the outside.
Yeah. You sold it very well. I'm your next client.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
go.
Sorry, guys, we need to...
Yeah.
Can you just exit the room right now?
Exactly. Abner, thank you so much for the conversation. I think we touched base exactly everything, and I am sure that our community will benefit from it. Guys, if you have any question for her, please let us know in the comments. And thank you so much again for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's crazy how the time passed by. I
know,
literally did not
right?
feel it.
I know. And
It's
I'm glad.
It's you, girl. It's you.
Thank you. Which means that we had a great time.
Yeah, we 100%
Thank
did.
you so much. And guys, see you on the next episode.
See you.